LoreWarrior Online Vehicles, LRM SRM Carrier. Overview. Ever since the development of the first rocket centuries ago, military units have used mobile missile systems to provide cheap and effective fire support. The long-range missile carrier and the short-range missile carrier are two typical examples of missile support units. Manufactured by almost every major military supplier, these vehicles are found in every army of the inner sphere. The main attraction is their ease of manufacture, quick troop training time, and relative cheapness. The drawbacks, however, are that most carriers are slow and very thin-skinned. Once engaged in direct combat, the carrier's life expectancy is measured in mere seconds. Capabilities. The chassis for missile carriers is varying in basic design, but they are all essentially military transport lorries adapted to carry the huge missile launchers and loading equipment. These adaptations generally consist of reinforcing the suspension system and armouring the crew in critical component areas. The armour isn't to protect the vehicle from enemy fire, but rather to protect the crew and critical components from the missile's backblast. A barrage fired from a missile carrier is a fearsome sight. One vehicle can launch 60 missiles every 10 seconds, and most carry enough ammunition to keep up that rate of fire for over a minute. The number and size of missiles that a lorry can mount depend on its own size. The actual missiles used vary according to which house owns the vehicle. For example, Davian troops may use Delta Dart LRMs and Hovertech SRMs, while Kirita may use Shingunga LRMs and NCK SRMs. Missile carriers are fire support units, and so do not usually have turrets. As support units, they almost never see frontline combat. However, many transport lorries mount missiles on a rotating platform that can be turned from outside the vehicle. The missile carrier's rate of fire is both an asset and a liability. On one hand, a well-timed barrage can determine the outcome of a battle very quickly. Conversely, the unit expends ammunition at a prodigious rate, which requires a functioning supply system to keep one in battle for any extended period. Battle history. House Lao is a heavy user both of long and short-range support units. During a Davian raid on the Lao planet of St. Ives, Davian troops were travelling through a narrow pass in order to reach their objective. According to their intelligence, no Lao mechs were around, but there would be some defending troops. What the Davian invaders didn't know was that there were 10 short-range missile carriers and 4 platoons of infantry guarding the pass. The infantry retreated up the pass to draw the Davians in, and then the short-range missile carriers immediately opened fire. Of the original 100 Davian tanks that entered the pass, 50 were disabled or destroyed in the first salvo of missiles. The second and third salvos took out the others. In another instance, a large unit of House Lao LRM-5 carriers, 5 ammo trucks and several light mechs were attacking the Marek world of Harsfeld. Their mission was to try and capture an important storehouse being guarded by infantry and tanks. When the Lao forces arrived, the Marek troops were expecting them, and opened fire from emplacements set up long before the battle. Seeing that their mechs wouldn't be able to get close to the small town and storehouse, the Lao commander ordered the LRM units to set up behind a tall ridgeline, where they could use indirect fire to weaken the town. Within a minute and a half, they'd fired 2,400 missiles at their targets. 10 minutes later, the carriers were reloaded, and then rained another 2,400 missiles on the town. After the smoke cleared, the Marek commander surrendered, without ever firing a shot. Variants. The only variation on a weapon system as simple as a missile carrier is the name of the manufacturer that happened to produce it. Though other types of support units do exist, including AC-2 and laser carriers, they are far from being as effective as missile carriers. Notable vehicles and crews. John Hunt. John Hunt is the Lao commander of a mixed battalion of long and short-range missile units. Although not a particularly hot-headed person, he has been known to bring his full complement of units to bear on enemy units at the slightest provocation. Good Times Orlonzo. Commander Orlonzo leads a small unit of missile carriers in the service of Kensky's raiders. He's called Good Times because he's constantly promising his men better times once the current contract is fulfilled.